What's happening, guys? Chris, VA Travels, here in Salisbury, Maryland, and I'm going to walk the grounds of Pemberton Hall. Historic home that was built back in 1741. And unfortunately, I'm just going to be walking the grounds today. I know everybody loves to see the inside. I do too. But yeah, they're closed this weekend. And but yeah, I'm going to walk around. There's plenty of outbuildings. There's a little bit to see. Split rail fence wrapping all around the property. And yeah, just a smaller, I guess, more modest home than the traditional giant Georgian brick mansions. Just a 3-bay house, a little attachment on the side, gambrel roof, that's kind of distinct. And of course, your Flemish bond brickwork with the glaze headers. And kind of a simple entrance right here, no real portico. Surprised about. And looks like 24 panes on those windows. Over here, I'm guessing this may be a dairy. I see the ventilation towards the top of the wall there. And old gristmill stone right here. And looks like we have a well also. All right, and then a little garden over here. And I'll tell you that we're a little southwest of Salisbury, and we're not too far off the Wicomico River. To give you an idea of where we're at. Oh, all right. Another millstone right there in front of the entrance. And it looks like we've got a, okay, so this is more of the actual front, I apologize. In memory of a Revolutionary War soldier, Henry Handy. Over here, Pemberton Hall, as I say, 1741. Enslaved persons, 17 enslaved individuals on the property, according to the probate inventory of 1763, and that's of Isaac Handy. And here's Henry Handy right here. He inherited, Pemberton at the age of 16. Wow. And here's a photo from 1960. All right, so it looks like there was kind of a little porch off the back. And why is that chimney crooked? Must have, yeah, it looks like it's had kind of fallen apart. And that was before, obviously, the restoration. And I see kind of a door or a window. Okay, I thought that was a door. Maybe there's a porch coming off of it. But yeah, you see those homemade hinges on the sides of the shutters. Pretty interesting. Smaller window up there. And again, that gambrel roof. Pretty distinct. And being shaded by this big old cedar with benches below. Good place to catch some shade. But let me walk around and take a look at the front. Here it is, small little porch up front. But I'll tell you that originally this property was owned by Joseph Pemberton, and that's going back to 1726. And then it was eventually sold to the Isaac Handy. And he had purchased 960 acres at the time. And to tell you a little bit about Isaac, he was the 13th of 15 children. His father came over as an indentured servant, and he was actually raised in Bermuda. So that's pretty interesting. All right. Okay, yeah, that Flemish bond brickwork looks good right there. I found a few photos online just to show you what's in here. Kitchen here was added in 1786 by Isaac's son Henry. Some brick detailing on what was originally the outside of the house. Now it's the kitchen wall. Here's the great hall with the baby blue wood paneling. And pretty big room. The room itself is probably twice the size of the average man's home in the Tidewater area at the time. Here's a picture of the parlor or the living room. A smaller, more private space where the family would gather. upstairs bed chamber, and this is pretty unique. It has a ceiling attached built-in bed tester frame. It's thought to be the only one still in existence at its original site in the United States. Smaller bed chamber upstairs. You'll see the rope bed. I see a wig back on that stand and a chamber pot under the bed. While I finish walking around the house, I'll tell you a funny story. The owner of the house during the Civil War was an Allison Parsons. He was a Southern sympathizer, and every time the Confederate Army would win a battle, he would fire his cannon. And this enraged Federal troops who were camped out in nearby Salisbury. So they had sent him orders to cease the firings. He ignored, of course. So they eventually raided the property with the intention of silencing the cannon, but their efforts were thwarted because Parsons had buried the cannon. So I thought that was a funny story. And Parsons had also used Pemberton Hall as a rendezvous for the Eastern Shore Confederate sympathizers. And then I'll tell you, after the war, in 1868, the house was purchased by the governor of Maryland. That would be Elihu Jackson. That's Elihu. And so finally, to continue with the timeline, in 1931, there was a guy named Seth Taylor owned the house. He lived here up until 1963. And that's when the foundation ended up taking over. So just a small little, I don't know if this is going to be, I don't think this is an herb garden, but let me see this. This probably just talks about whatever garden club is maintaining it, most likely, but let's see. Eagle Scout Project. Yeah, it's a herb garden. All right. So Riley Watson, Troop 151. All right. Oh yeah, I see bees buzzing around. And let me walk through just a lot of mill wheels. So I wonder if there was a mill up on the Wacomico River. Oh, these little slates, I thought they would tell you the names of some of the plants, but it looks like they're blank. I will let you know that this property is, or the house is open for tours the first and third weekends of each month, spring through the fall. And yeah, this is actually the fourth weekend. So like I said, I missed out, but it was my only chance to come to Salisbury. What is that? I don't know. The top looks like almost it would be a dovecote, but I don't see a sign out here. But I'm going to come back out here next year and I'm going to try and plan it for when they're open, and I'll do a full-on house tour. All right, Pemberton Plantation. Individual hard at work, working on some tobacco, it looks like. Okay, it looks like talking about the tools, simple tools that they use. Okay, mashing some corn right there. Old axe. Okay. Okay, so it looks like the bricks date back to 1741, of course, when the house was built. And it says Isaac Handy designed Pemberton Hall to impress the neighbors. At the time, over 90% of people in the Chesapeake region lived in small, low clapboard houses, about half the size of the Great Hall inside Pemberton. And building a brick gambreled roof house was the way for Isaac Handy to signal to his friends his status in society. Okay, and some of the dependencies that used to be on the property would include a milk house, stable, cookhouse, kitchen, I would guess. Yeah, tan house, barn, barn house, slave quarters, of course. And it looks like that's kind of newer. Okay, so this big old barn, I don't think this is original. But I'll let you know that we are at the Pemberton Historical Park. There's the visitor center right up there. And there are lots and lots of hiking trails. Maybe next year when I come out, I'll just do a full-on tour, walk the trails. But okay, here's a map of the trails. The Woodland Trail, Pondside Trail. They've got all the sites numbered you can look at. A snake fence, poultry house, all right. Wellhead and sweep. And up here, the trails, they're all pretty short. Yeah, most are under a mile. Oh, and this is the Environmental Educational Center up there. And they've got little snakes, reptiles, turtles you can look at in there. So, just to tell you, it looks like a trailhead right there. Yeah, plenty of picnic tables. All right. All your rules and regulations right there. All right, so they're in the process of removing invasive wisteria plants. All right, so might take several years to complete. They're kind of nice looking, but apparently they're invasive. All right, so it looks like they distilled cider because drinking water wasn't too reliable. And it says at the time of his death in 1762, Isaac owned the distillery that was equipped with 100 gallons of cider. Wow. Okay, yeah, and drinking water was unreliable at the time, so people often drank distilled spirits, cider, wine. Pretty neat. Since I'm so close, let me just walk over here and just see what this plaque says. It's probably just mapping out the trails, I bet. Wacomico River Water Quality Improvement Project. All right, well, let's see. History trail. Okay, front of the water. All right, so you've got the Bell Island Trail, a history trail, an Osprey Trail. I'll knock all that out next time I'm out here, where I can just do a full-on tour. But it looks like a pretty well-maintained path going down there. And yeah, it feels so much better in the shade. But all right, guys, well, I'm going to get out of here. Again, stay tuned next year. I'm going to come back out, hopefully, and just do a full-on tour. But anyway, as always, like and subscribe. See you on the next one.